everyone, thank you for the opportunity to deliver my presentation. Today I'm going to share with you information about the project oromucosal films loaded with polyphenol-rich extracts. In this study, we choose two hydroacetonic extracts. We choose Viburnum opulus fruit extract and Craterus pentagina leaf extract. The reason for choosing these two plants was because we have proven in a previous study that these two extracts have a very good cardiovascular activity. Although they have a strong cardioprotective activity, these extracts contain polyphenols with a very low bioavailability. When searching the literature, we found that chlorogenic acid found in our extract has a bioavailability of 30%, while proanthocyanidins can reach a maximum 4% bioavailability. The reason for such a low bioavailability is due to reduced absorption and also intensive hepatic metabolization. Starting from this information, we decided to develop oromucosal films loaded with these two extracts. We choose oromucosal films that can be placed on the sublingual mucosa because the absorption of a drug through the sublingual route is 3 to 10 times higher than the oral route. Also, the oromucosal films have other advantages. We can avoid the first hepatic metabolization, and also they have a high therapeutic compliance among patients. So we decided that the extract can be delivered through oromucosal films, and we might obtain increased bioavailability and a high therapeutic efficacy. To prepare the sublingual films, we choose the solvent casting method. We have used two polymers, hydroxypropylmethylcellulose and ketosane, and then we added glycerin as a plasticizer, and some of the formulation have also starch, which can act as a disintegrator. We evaluated the films in terms of physical, mechanical, and pharmacotechnical properties, and we also tested the permeation through sublingual membrane. Regarding the thickness of the films, we found that the thickness can vary between 53 to 93 micrometers. We also determined other parameters. For example, the surface pH of films can range between 5.7 to 6.5, which is a very well-tolerated pH for the oral cavity. We found the relative humidity around 20%, and we also found a high foaming endurance. An important step in the film's evaluation was to find the mechanical properties of the films. We found that the addition of starch in the films can increase the roughness, and this can lead to a high adherence to sublingual mucosa. Also, while increasing the percentage of polymers, we found that generally the elasticity of the films increased, and on the other side, the addition of starch decreased the mechanical resistance. Regarding the in vitro disintegration time, we found a low disintegration time for the formulas which have a low percentage of polymers. Also, we found an optimum concentration of starch of 0.05, which can decrease the disintegration time. Usually, we want a low disintegration time for oromucosal films, and we choose two formulas which were able to offer a disintegration time lower than 3 minutes. After loading the selected films, we performed several protocols to evaluate the extract-loaded film. For example, the entrapment efficacy was found to be around 88 to 94%. However, the drug loading was quite low, around 20 to 25%. Categospentagina loaded films were able to release more polyphenols than viburnum loaded films. We found that categospentagina loaded films can release around 91% of the polyphenols in the dissolution test. We performed also the permeation and diffusion studies using porcine sublingual membrane. Thus, we were able to establish if the polyphenols can penetrate the sublingual membrane. Between 36 to 50% of the polyphenols were released from the oromucosal films and were able to permeate sublingual membrane. We found that the films with starch improved the permeation of the polyphenols. Also, a burst effect was obtained in the first 20 minutes, followed by a slower release in the next 4 hours. In conclusion, we were able to achieve the main objective of this study. Polyphenols were able to permeate sublingual membrane. We obtained oromucosal films with optimal mechanical and pharmacotechnical properties, and also the oromucosal films were characterized by an accelerated release of the phytocomplex. Thank you very much for your attention.